Hello my friends, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for taking time out of your days, your busy schedule to turn on a video and listen or watch. I appreciate it. This video, I'm very excited to do this. This is me basically taking your suggestions, and it wasn't that I ever had a specific call out like get on Instagram and comment your suggestions. They're just genuine comments that have rolled through either on here or on TikTok, any form of my social media, where somebody has come on and given me a suggestion or something they'd like to see me do with my makeup. And I want to start out by saying this. In my early YouTube days, if I found out that somebody was talking bad about me or like saying, oh, she always does this, or this looks so bad on her, whatever, if I found out about that, I couldn't get on and change it fast enough. I didn't stop and think whether I liked the way I was doing things for myself. I didn't go through any kind of little process inside where I really carefully considered what they were saying and also what I was doing and thought about my own preference. I just changed. I just thought, oh, well, I'm being bullied about that. I guess I'll have to do that differently. I guess you'd have to say it's kind of a toxic way of internalizing things and dealing with things, and I never want to be that way again. I think it's important to stay true to yourself, and not every comment that floats through is something that has to stick, but I've really reached a point in the age of my channel where I just feel like the people who are here with me are really kind and decent and good, and the things that I'm doing in this video weren't said to me in any kind of a condescending, rude, or unkind way. These comments I feel all came from a genuine and good-hearted place. That's not to say I don't get mean comments sometimes, but that's just not what's building up this video, and I want you to know that, and I want any creator out there, just anybody who considers like posting on the internet, and then, you know, maybe you get some negativity. Don't go hustling to try to please everybody, because you know what? It's a losing game. You're not gonna please everybody. You could be doing everything technically right, and it's not gonna please everybody. So let go of that, make yourself happy with what you do, and yeah, that's where this video is coming from. All suggestions were made, I felt, in a genuine, kind, good-hearted place. And in a lot of cases, you know, I'm out here trying stuff, and if you're talking to me and you're like, I'd like to see you do this, or I'd like to see how this ends up looking, that's totally cool. You can tell me those things. So here's the first tip. I had somebody tell me on complexion stuff to try doing all cream then powder, not like going in, setting the under eye, and then maybe throwing on a cream step after that or something. And they told me that this will take away the chance of looking cakey. And I never really have felt like I'd look especially cakey with my methods, but at the same time, this kind of takes me back to a technique that I saw McKenna Goddard do on TikTok where, I mean, she goes through pretty much all of the cream steps and then all of the powder. And I thought, yeah, let's do that. Let's just see if the products go on better this way. And then when we get to blush, I have a tip there too, but we'll just start in with, you know, doing the cream stuff first. I thought I'd use this little Catrice Soft Glam filter stick because you guys saw me use the Charlotte Tilbury one recently, and I thought you might like to just see in close proximity to one another. If you watch all my videos, you know, you recently saw that. Now let's see how the Catrice one looks. I have it in the shade 15 Light. Personally, I feel like this is a lot softer in terms of the glow, and the liquid version of this product with the big, you know, buck foot applicator, the kind that's really operating like original Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter, that's also more subtle. Like you can see I've blended this in and there is some glow, but not much. So if you're looking for a much more subtle glow than the Charlotte Tilbury, you might be interested in this stick. For foundation today, I'm going to use some good old L'Oreal True Match, although, ooh, I think that shade is much more of a summer shade for me. Hang on. I'm just gotta stop and take a pause. Neutrogena Healthy Skin liquid makeup is what I'm gonna use today in the shade Buff. I do love this stuff. Wish they could put a pump in it, but that's okay. Finish of this is always so pretty on my skin, and I do get pretty good wear time out of it too. Although with there not being a pump, it can be very mysterious as to how much product is actually going on your skin. And I'm gonna use my e.l.f. foundation buffing brush for that. I've always felt like the consistency of this, it's like it's thin, but it is offering your skin a little something extra. A little bit extra moisture. I haven't used NARS Sheer Glow in a long time, but this has really been the product that reminds a lot of people of NARS Sheer Glow. See, look, that looks so pretty blended in. Always feel good about the way that foundation looks on my skin. Time for concealer. I'm going to use my Infallible Full Wear in the shade Ivory. So whereas my foundation I feel like is a definite like medium coverage, this is going to bring some fuller coverage to some areas. little dots. It's really right up there with my fullest coverage concealers like e.l.f. Camo Concealer, Tarte Shape Tape. This one does a really good job in the coverage department and wears well. Doesn't provide loads of extra moisture, but I've prepped the skin well, and I've got a cat hair on my nose randomly, and here's Biscuits showing up. Hi, honey. But I love a good brightening shade getting up on that under eye, and then I will not be immediately setting this. I mentioned McKenna Goddard earlier, and I had made a little post-it note of her technique quite a while ago, and she actually would have done cream contour and cream blush before this concealer step. I forgot about that. But whatever the case, we're just sticking to cream and liquid formulas first. I'll go in with some cream contour, cream blush, and then we'll top off. And after church yesterday, I don't know what it was, but I just felt so immediately tired. I just laid down on the couch and I took a nap. Rhett, in a very rare chain of events, took a nap with me. Bub fell asleep. The girls were up. We were all just put into nap mode real quick. Bisky. Anyway, I am just tapping that product in with my larger brush. I feel like I am well blended, and I've got the concealer everywhere I want it. Next, I'm going to do a little cream contour, and this is going to be the Spicy Season shade of the Milani Cheek Kiss. By the way, Milani's got a bunch of reformulated baked products, which I want to get into in a future video. I just need to spend a little time trying some things out, because with stuff like that, when you want to familiarize yourself with a new formula or a new range, and you've very amazingly been sent the line from the brand, like it takes a little while. I want to be able to try some of it before I get on here saying how it is. Some of the different shades. Because with products like that, it's not like a lip try-on where you can just immediately exhibit everything for everyone in a video, you know? I gotta work with them a bit, but I'll get back to you on it, I promise. But quite a trend in baked, you know? Like, we've got Milani making them, CoverGirl turning out their baked products. But it seems to me among the Milani things, it's not just a reformulation, there's also new shades. Just a broadened out range altogether. There's Spicy Seasonal worked in there. I like that bronzer. And then, you know, still no powder yet. I'm gonna throw in a cream. And you know what I used the other day that I absolutely loved was this shade from Tarte in the multi-stick, the Maracuja Juicy multi-stick. Remember I got it in a trio? This shade called Latte is super pretty. There is a click up down here at the bottom, so don't click past where you really want to have it out. But this brings me to another tip, which is putting your blush up even higher, like right up in here, which is a lot of times where I start. I feel like I start high, but I end up bringing it to the apple of my cheek, because ultimately head on, I like my blush to be seen. But I'm going to do what you said, and I'm going to take my brush here from Sephora, my Sephora 56 that I use for blush. And I am keeping it, I'm like right by my eye, gang. I am right up there with it, okay? So this is a pretty soft blush, and we'll come in with maybe a powder blush as well that can, I don't know, further exhibit my blush placement. But for now, here we are with that pretty shade called Latte. Yesterday when I was wearing it, I wore it in my normal place, and I felt like I could see it more. But there's that. There's what I look like with a very soft blush placed right up in here, not going past like this part of my eye, but it's just up there. So that's all my cream steps. Now I'm gonna go in with powder. I'm gonna use this NYX Wonder Snatch. Whoa, baby bear, what you doing there? She's trying to mark my stuff, you know. NYX Wonder Snatch, shade is Sugar Serve. That's hard to say. Anytime you need a friend, I will be here. That song from Mariah Carey is such a freaking anthem. I love that song. Okay, I got some in the cap, and we're gonna do some under eye setting powder, I guess. It feels weird already having the blush there and the contour already there. But I'm doing it. I'm setting my under eye, and I guess this ends up softening the blush out too. I don't know. You tell me if you think this is a good idea. But I just haven't really ever had much issue with going back and forth after, like, I set my under eye and then I go on with maybe a cream contour or a cream blush. It's never been a problem for me. A little more. Okay, and then I'm going to take my little powder brush like I do. Work it around a little. Maybe I can come down here and sort of set those zones that, I don't know how I'd really set them at this point without just really targeting that, because I don't want to go directly over the contour that I did. Under eye feels fairly set. Since I've got multiple shades of these Milani Bake things that I need to try, I think I'm going to go ahead and work a few into this video, because I've got some homework to do on this stuff. This is what it looks like. Remember when, I mean, this is the standard blush size that Milani does in Baked, but remember back in the day when the Baked bronzer used to be like a whole larger pan size, but this is Tuscan Tan. I think I'm just going to grab my Sephora angle brush. Whoa, softer than I was expecting. Very soft texture. And I'm just going to top off where I contoured, which was also with Milani. I was just expecting more firmness. It just really got powdery in a hurry. In the range of shades that they have in this, this is kind of in the middle. Okay. It looks good. It seems pigmented. I mean, I already had that contour sitting down there, so now I guess I'm just extremely contoured with it topped off. But it is really soft. Just to touch it, it's a softer feel. Like more color just immediately coming off of that than I was thinking there would be. I've got a blush here. This is called Sparkling Rosé. When I opened up this one, it was the first one I looked at because I could see the whole baked pan had come off of the packaging, so I kind of affixed that to the pan underneath, and I think we're good now. But it got a little powdery on here too, just by bumping around there. Immediately coming off on my brush, as you can see. Oh, don't take it too low, Em. Remember, we're not taking it too low. Okay. Trying to stay in an upward zone. Man, I almost messed that up. Stay up here. Some of y'all want it right by the eye. I may have to take my powder puff over that a little bit. Sorry, I still think it's up. It's up. There's me with blush not getting on the apple of my cheek. It's just funny. Some things take getting used to, honestly. When you make certain changes in your makeup routine, sometimes you just have to get used to seeing them that way. It's up high. Really right around my eye. You're just seeing my brush come here. There's really not much on it. I'm just blending. Okay, I'm just blending. I'm really just trying to figure out what I think about that. Maybe once the highlighter goes on. I'm just seeing my face head on and I'm thinking, where's the blush? I don't know. Dolce Perla. Okay, this is the same shade that they have out currently. And they make it in a bigger pan, but now it's in a smaller pan and it seems even softer, like I said. So just a touch into that with my Real Techniques setting brush. It's a beautiful highlight for like a soft glow. To be honest with you, just looking at the surface of my skin, the texture of my skin, I can't see a lot of difference between this and when I would just immediately set my under eye. Or, you know, I don't always even do a cream step for... It's not laying down there. This is pretty subtle, honestly. Just the nature of this highlighter. They definitely have some other ones in this line, but this is really like a soft pearl. I think a lot of people would like that. But what I was saying, in terms of switching up the order, I really don't see a pronounced difference on the texture of my skin doing it this way as opposed to doing it the way I would normally do that. Having the glow come down, because I always place my highlighter pretty much below the center of my eye. I can't remember when I started doing that. It wasn't that long ago, but I feel like that just is very life-giving to the structure of my face. So I got that there, but my blush is more up. You can tell me what you think, guys, if you like it or not. I'm going to do my brows and then I'm going to take a suggestion on eyes. I did my brows. I used my Benefit Precisely, my brow pencil, and the Maybelline Super Lock, which I like this as a top step. I think it holds the brows really well. Deep brown is my shade in this, and I think it does a very good job. It adds a little extra color to my brows. However, I don't love the brush quite as much as I do the Brow Fast Sculpt, but I did some eye primer. I used my e.l.f. Lock It Down eyeshadow primer. Just, you know, have a little variety in my situation here. And as far as eyeshadow, I basically am taking a couple of tips or a couple of suggestions that you guys wanted to see. Softer eyeshadow in general. I've seen several people asking for simple, not too dark looks, so we're doing that. And we're also doing no warmth, so no like orangey tone tone shades, nothing toasty here. So given those requests, this is the eyeshadow palette I've pulled out. It's the Catrice, the Pure Nude eyeshadow palette. So as you can see here, the shades really stay in their lane in terms of being cool neutrals. We're gonna keep it soft. We're not gonna get into a lot of darkness today. So let's see how it looks. I'm gonna go up to this shade right here, which is a really soft kind of matte crease color. And I'm just gonna use that with my crease brush. And I'm probably not going to get a lot darker than that shade, honestly, if we're wanting to keep it lighter and kind of different from what I might normally do. I've had some dryness with one eye, and it's like it feels really comfy and fine with my contacts in, and then when the contacts come out, I can feel that it's more dry, and I don't like it. But right now I got my contacts in and it's fine, but like I was noticing yesterday evening, like, wow, she really feels almost a little dry and scratchy. So I need to probably get back into my, I think the brand was Sustain. I remember using some of that last year. Worked really well for me. Sustain Complete was the kind I got. Doctor recommended. All right, so I've just really softly placed that shade in my crease and let it come way up above so we have some lift. Maybe a little more right over here, sorry. Then we can take this matte, like bone color, same brush, and I'm gonna let that come under the brow. I will keep my shadow soft. I will keep my shadow soft. Okay, fine. Flat brush. And I'm going to try staying with this shade for a minute. So that's that first shade I put in my crease. And sometimes when colors pack on, they can look a little different. Like, for example, I feel like it's showing up a little lighter when packed on, and it showed up a little deeper when I put it in my crease, just because also it was hitting an area that can just look a little more shadowed. But I'm going to try to keep it soft and cool. Pat that over like majority of my lid. And then I will go back. Well, should I do a little shimmer? Why don't we do a little shimmer, okay? Let's have a little bit of fun. And something I like about these Catrice palettes is that the shimmers aren't like out of hand. They're nice and soft and easy to work with. So I'm just taking that shade and patting it on the inner lid and letting it gently overlap what was done there. It gives me a little brightness, and I could go around the inner corner too with it. Nobody said I couldn't do that. It's very tame. It's very soft, but it's also very like everyday doable. And I have seen requests for that type of look. Nice. Also, keeping it soft, let's see what this shade looks like applied with an even more targeted brush, my little small pointed brush. And I bet it could give us just the softest shadow there on the lower lash line, just a little bit. I did clean off this brush first, so it's not carrying a bunch of darkness from other stuff, but that goes on really nice there. Keeping it soft, keeping it cute. Still not sure about the blush. I haven't seen a lot of specific requests on anything to do with eyeliner. I think what I'm gonna do is just pop on some mascara and we'll move on to the lip. Okay friends, I just popped on mascara. That's the only thing I added. It's the Persona tubing mascara today, top and bottom. That stuff builds so well. I really like it. Actually, I could maybe add a little more to this eye because I forget sometimes. I go back and forth and I give this eye a little rest so it can start to get a little dry, and there's so much that comes off on the brush. Like, you're still able to get definition, but it can truly build nicely on itself. So I like that, especially with a really soft eyeshadow look today. And then for lips, I've seen people want like kind of throwback lips, like cool pinky nude lips, or just more nude lips in general, like truly nude, not like my version of nude that's sometimes taking it a little deeper. So I'm pulling out my Ferris Nude lipstick from L'Oreal, which I feel like I've actually been wearing this a lot lately. It's been like, with a lot of lip combos I've wanted to do, it's been the base layer and then I kind of dress it up, you know? But it's a nice color. It's a classic from L'Oreal. Very classic. But look at me now. I don't have blush coming down to the apples on my cheeks. I've got a really soft eye look, and I've got a nude lip. Maybe I didn't need to put all the suggestions in the same video, but I'm going to take Piggy Bank from e.l.f. over top. This is their Glow Reviver lip oil, one of the plumping ones. And this one just gives a pretty like glowy look, and it's going to keep me in that nude lane, you know, not taking it too dark. It's really pretty. Just added a little glow, a little pearliness maybe if you're looking up real close, but I didn't put a ton on there. Okay guys, so this is my finished look. What do you think? So remember how it started? We did all cream and liquid steps and then the powders to set. My skin does look good. I think it's also the result of using products that I like, but I don't notice a huge difference in the way my skin looks with that method versus if I do like set my under eye and then come in with cream bronzer, let's say, or something. I'm not seeing a huge difference there, but it was fun to switch things up. Yes, blush is higher up and not coming down to here as well. I think my thing usually is like, yes, my blush is higher up, but it's also here too. But now it's just up there and it's soft, and I just feel like looking head on at my face, I don't look very blushy at all, but could just be, you know, the change and adjusting to change. That's fine. Soft everyday eyeshadow look that's gonna be very easy to recreate using a super everyday friendly palette if you don't like anything going too warm, which that was another part of the request. The Pure Nude from Catrice. I feel like sometimes my cool shadow lovers can be the most vocal in the comments section, so if you want something cool, go for that. And here we are also working in a really classic nude lip that I have not deepened up with Ferris Nude and Piggy Bank. I think it makes a pretty nude lip. Very soft makeup today, and it was also fun to experiment with some of those Milani baked products. What I'm taking from these so far is that they are a very, very soft texture, so be ready for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks so much to those of you who, you know, whatever you want to see on me, like, I appreciate your kind requests for that. Keep them coming. I mean, if you got specific products you want to see tried out or different techniques yet, let me know, and I will see you all again very soon. I love you. Bye.